Right, welcome everybody to another episode of Chris and Dave's Reality Cast. I am one of your hosts, Chris Phelps. My co-host and very good friend is Mr. Dave Horrocks.
Hey there, Chris, and hello to our listeners out there. Welcome to Chris and Dave's TV Reality Cast. We are covering Love Island UK Season 7, Episode 11. Now, Chris, we're back into the drama. We're loving a bit of drama, aren't we? I said in week 2, that's when things really start to come to the boil. And where do you want to start today?
Well, we sort of get the hangover from Sharon, Dave. You know, the conversation with the girls. And I've got to call out Aaron slightly and say, I get it about he doesn't want to waste his time, but I do think it's a little bit unfair about the wife and kids and fucking buying a mortgage conversation to get out of that relationship. I know we talked about it yesterday, but I still, the more she says it, the more I'm sort of sided with Sharon, going like, well, he's right. He doesn't want to waste his time with somebody, but give the girl a chance at least. So I just think he's a cop-out from Aaron. And like you said yesterday, his head has been turned completely by Lucinda, definitely, and Millie.
I think there's nothing wrong. If he's not feeling it, he's not feeling it. I actually think it's okay to just say, look, I think we're done. But I agree, the excuses he's put out there don't make sense. So she's going to agonize about that now. She's going to be thinking about that feedback and thinking, oh, fucking hell, have I been laying it on too thick, about maybe I should be having kids or something like that. She's going to be internalizing some of the things that he said, which, she doesn't need to, because it's bollocks, because his head's been turned. And, but to be fair, I think Hennessy pointed out, didn't he, that he was talking about some of these doubts before the girls came in. So it's not just about the girls. I just think the girls had sped things up. We said when he had that whole conversation about, she's not into kids and blah, blah, blah. And I think, we can't really figure out, what did she actually say? Did she say she doesn't want kids, or she doesn't want to be a stay-at-home mum? Or I'm not actually sure what she said. But again, guys, you've been dating for a fucking day, so it's a bit early to stick her in the bin, for that reason. So yeah, it's just, she comes across a bit arsey at times, because she doesn't want anyone to see that, she is a bit vulnerable. She's actually a human being. She's trying to just put up this steel fence. So yeah, what was interesting though, Chris, when some of the other drama was unfolding later on in the episode, it was, they were just having a chat on the side, and we didn't get to see any of that chat.
Yeah,
but I think it was Rachel who went over, and they seemed quite happily chatting away there. Yeah, so I don't know if that's properly in the bin yet.
No, and you know what? Sam said that. Why are they together when we've had this whole dialogue of, they're not speaking and blah, blah, blah. Even Aaron was like, oh, she's coming over, wasn't he, later on in the episode when he was in the bed and stuff. So it didn't make sense that, unless we're going to get that in, you'll probably see that maybe on tomorrow's show. But you're right. You're totally right. It did seem a bit strange. But what else did you spot at the start of this one then, Dave? Because there was all sorts going on for me.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think I spotted anything from the night. I think, nothing new that we hadn't seen before. It's just more about, the day after, when we get into that, Chloe, from seemingly nowhere, suddenly decides, she quite likes a bit of Toby. So pulls him for a chat. And she's being very flirty. She's laughing at his jokes. Nothing makes a guy's cock grow bigger when she's laughing at your jokes. It doesn't really. But, so, yeah, this seemed to come from nowhere. And then, we get the challenge, obviously. She's not had a conversation with, Kaz or Toby or anything. And then absolutely sticks it on Toby. And Toby and Kaz, I was saying previously, were probably the only couple that looked like they had the foundations, but no other girl has shown any interest in Toby at all up until now. And then that's it. He's off.
And you know what? He's gone on it. It's gone completely. Dave, you're so right. Because obviously Kaz had already, she started the whole thing off. She puts him in jail. They're in this little, like, you know, comic book sort of a jail cell. And then I was expecting it. I wasn't. I know we got the dialogue and a bit of flirting up, but I was thinking, no, she's not going to put it on him. She's going to go with Hugo because that's who she's currently partnered up with. But no, you're right, Dave. All sexy, proper kiss. The one thing I'd say though, Dave, and I know it's to do with the same thing, is a bit later on, Kaz is talking to Chloe, and I was pissing myself because she's calling her a snake. But she said, well, you could have kissed him on his neck, his shoulder, his arm, his knee. No, I'm like,
no, the first obviously was his hand. It was his like, hand, yeah. Come this way, Mr. Darcy. You think fucking Pride and Prejudice or something?
I know.
Kiss him on the fucking hand. It's Love Island. Get over yourself.
Oh, Dave, honestly, when she said that and she said, kiss him on the shoulder, because that's obviously something that everybody does. It's an erogenous zone on your body, your fucking shoulder. I mean, I was like, come on, Kaz. I'm not saying that you're not wrong to call Chloe out. That's the name of the show. And what Chloe said, I think, was right. This is the show. But Kaz was also right, like, you never spoke to me. You just put it on him. But you read the room, don't you, Dave? You can see that she's pulled him and sat on a sun lounger with him for most of the day. You know what's coming. This is Love Island 101. And the fact that Chloe's moved because these two new girls have come in, it's no coincidence. And this shows her as a complete game player. However, it is a game show about love, Dave. As you always say, it's not Friend Island, it's Love Island, people.
Yeah, and the thing is, Chris, we expect a bit of game playing. This is not season 1 where no one knows what the rules are. No one's seen what happens before. I don't see that there's a massive problem with what Chloe's done. Okay, she could have gone over and pulled Kaz for a chat, you know, if they were really chummy and pally and stuff. Said, you know, like, actually, I kind of want to get to know Toby a little bit more. She could have done that, maybe. But I don't see a lot of what she's done as wrong. But this is where, you know, there's going to be different camps, isn't there? There's going to be people buckling down and completely in the Kaz, Faye and Sharon camp, you know, because that is the Mean Girls group that's forming. And they're going to be like, oh, Chloe is an absolute snake. What she has done is the worst thing, you know? And it's just like, come on, it is fucking Love Island, right? I don't know if she's actually into Toby at all, but she's quite vulnerable at the moment because she's in this kind of friend couple with Hugo. So she could, you know, she could stick it out with Hugo, probably survive a couple more recouplings. But what if girl comes in and actually takes a shine to Hugo? And don't forget that Lucinda was making noises that Hugo was actually, you know, she was kind of liking Hugo. Kind of thinks she's been watching the show and realizes how popular he is. Retrospectively, I'm thinking that's what she's done. So Chloe's possibly thinking, I could be fucked here. So if Lucinda picks Hugo, that's it. That's me out. So I need to make a move for someone. She's made a move. Fucking good luck to her.
Hey, it happens. It happens, doesn't it, Dave? And I must admit, in this game, me and Sam were laughing. I don't know if you were, Dave, but, you know, Faye, and we'll get on to Faye later, but she did drop in a really funny line, which we laughed out loud, was when she was copying a feel of Liam. And then she's like, oh, I got his fucking cucumber. But, you know, I had a proper feel. It was a bit disappointing. There wasn't much else there. I was like... It's like, just the way she said it was really cutting for Faye. But other than that, Dave, she gets no fucking pussies for me in this episode, I must admit.
She's trying to be Moira, isn't she? I think, yeah. You know, yeah. I think she does come out with the occasional funny line like that is intended as a put down, you know, no question about it. But it is actually funny as well. Whereas 90% of the time, it's just a nasty put down. So you're right. We'll call it out. Fair play if it is in that 10%.
Yeah, it was. He was quite funny, but you're right. And obviously, I tell you what, Dave, I did think Rachel had fucking smashed her nose or something when she fell down the slide and went flying forward. You know, because they're quite clever on the advert. They made it look like she'd cracked her face and everyone turned around. But luckily, I think she cut over. She was okay. But I honestly thought there was going to be blood everywhere.
You know what? And at that point, I was thinking, oh, fuck me. She's just having the worst time of it in here out of everyone, even Hugo, because like you've got fucking Dirk Diggler there, fucking Brad, right? Got no interest in Rachel whatsoever. It's so fucking obvious to everyone around. He's only got eyes for Lucinda. He told Rachel all the things she wanted to hear. She was worried about that when she was making her decision, and she just parked on the sidelines, and then she fucking face plants the railing. It's like, oh, fucking hell, things can't get much worse. So at this point in the episode, when that challenge was going on and she did that, I was feeling really bad for Rachel.
Yeah, it's funny, because I did, because I thought she's a few blows. But later on when we were watching it, Sam just said to me, she went, "Is someone all right with that Rachel? I think she's a raging psycho." And we were laughing. I was like, "Do you?" She said, she went, "I don't know. There's just something off about her." And I said, "It might. I don't know." We never discussed it any further. I just thought I'm going to write that down as a note, Dave. That's a great.
Well, I don't know. I don't think, for me, she hasn't displayed any traits of a raging psycho. But I didn't appreciate. So when we've had all this drama, Chloe, yeah,
Chloe
and Ray, Chloe and Kaz.
Chloe,
we need someone called Gareth or something, to validate my Chloe. Gareth to couple up with Chloe. So when Chloe and Kaz had the chat, and we'd gone through that nonsense, she could have kissed him on the hand. Yes, it's not fucking Pride and Prejudice. Then Chloe's talking to Lucinda and Millie, and Rachel's sat with them. And then she gets up and she's like, "Oh, I'm going to pretend that I didn't hear that." No, I don't know if I blanked out, zoned out for a minute. I didn't actually hear exactly what Chloe said, but it was obvious it was going to be about Toby. So, Rachel gets up and then she goes over and like literally walks right over to Faye and sits down and is like, "Oh, let's pretend like we're talking about something else." But I was thinking, well, this could be an editing thing. This could be like half an hour after or something. But Chloe actually says she's just gone right over there to tell what's going on. I thought that was bang out of order from Rachel, to be honest. I thought, or at least be a bit more stealth about it. Don't literally walk right over to Faye and then initiate all the fucking fireworks, because Mouth All Fucking Mighty strikes out then, doesn't she? She's like, "Fucking shut the fuck up," sort of thing. Everyone in here talks about everyone else. It's like, again, we all know that. I don't think you're supposed to say that.
No, but you're right. You see the camera pan and she just walks and it's like, wow, you have no fucking tact at all. I agree, Dave. I thought it was well out of order.
Yeah, but like I say, just because I was thinking, like, is it that it was out of order, or it was just so fucking blatant? You are over there with your massive shit stirring spoon, and you're gonna stir the shit, or at least if she'd have given a bit of time, maybe she'd had a wander around the villa, had a chat to someone else, and then confided in Faye. She'd have delivered the same message, but maybe it wouldn't have been as obvious. I don't know. Is that better? It feels like in my head it would be better, but Yeah,
I agree. But what about Faye, Dave? Again,
nasty. She's Anna fair. From season 5.
She is. She's a nasty bitch. But I was laughing at fucking Chloe when she went, "I heard my name. And she kept getting higher and higher when they were having this fucking argument. And I'm like, look, I have no horse in either of these two's race. I must admit, I do think Chloe was a little bit hard done to. And Faye, she's just wicked, Dave. She can't. She's like, she goes, "You heard my name," and she kept saying it. She's like, "I'm talking." It's like, it's like, no, fucking Rachel's come over just to stir the shit. You're getting involved. It's not even about you. It's about Kaz. If it was about Faye, then Faye is quite rightly, good or bad, can go back to her and be like, "What are you fucking saying? Let's have it out," or call her a bitch or whatever. But it was about Kaz. So that's just like that again. You're creating a divide in the. I mean, I could see from Rachel's point of view, maybe she's thinking, well, these are my friends. I'm not being involved in a conversation. Because, later on down the line, sometimes they do reveal what people have said, don't they, in them games where there'll be like a water dunking game. And it's like, who said this girl is false? And fucking Hugo takes a dump. So maybe it was that. Maybe she's proper aware of what Love Island's about. But I agree. I've just thought it was just nonsense, the whole thing.
The thing is, Faye sees Chloe as a rival. As far as she's concerned, they look the same, apparently. Faye's words, not mine. So, she's fucking hated Chloe from the second she's walked into the villa, and she's finally had a go. She's finally got a reason to like throw off the shackles and fucking launch at her. He's got all this inbuilt rage. And I tell you what fucking puts me off Faye even more, Chris. Back in the day, I would say like early 20s, and I was living in Altrincham at that time, and you still like to go out to the pub and, have a few drinks, socialize and whatever. It put me off more and more going out. Just fucking very often there's trouble. And very often behind all great fights, Chris, all great scuffles in the pub is a fucking Faye. Right?
Yeah.
And it just reminds me of that. Like gobby fucking people in the pub, like fucking initiating all this conflict and like fucking ends up with a fight breaking out or something. And so, I tell you what though, Chris, again, said it before, say it again. Fucking loved it.
I loved it. I loved every minute of it. One thing I do want to talk about though, Dave, and I want your honest opinion on this, is I thought that considering what had happened with Hugo and the girls having a pop at him, Sharon and Faye, and being really disgusted with him, I've got no problem whether you agree with that or not. I think Hugo was fine. It was completely taken out of context. I've not seen many people supporting the girls, but bit of a, not hypocritical, but I'm thinking, why didn't one of you just pick Hugo? All right, it should probably fall for Chloe. She's the one with him. She's making a move on Toby. So you could sort of blame it on Chloe, but I didn't half feel sorry for him, Dave. And he even said it, didn't he, like humiliating. The poor guy stood outside the jail and it was like, that's just fucking bad. You know what I mean?
Everyone's in there for themselves. So I don't think there's anything wrong with none of the girls picking him. It's just fucking shit.
Yeah.
It's basically, he has to do the walk of shame almost, doesn't he? Because he's over there and all the guys who've been picked, some of them multiple times, are in the prison. And then he just has to painfully fucking walk over there. And he's just resting up against the mock jail, isn't he? As if it's like, yeah, I'm being casual here. I'm not bothered by this at all. It was fucking humiliating. And, Terence on Twitter's pointed out, he's called this, and you've said it as well. He's now officially Dr. Alex.
Yeah, 100%.
And again, I think I'd said, I think Lucinda will pick Brad when it comes down to it. And I do think she was making goo-goo eyes at Hugo, because she's got that perspective of what the outside world thinks of Hugo going in there. That's why she was, putting across like she's really into him. Oh, you're so intelligent and whatever. Intelligence is a really high priority for PE teachers, Chris. Yep. So, yeah, I did feel pretty bad for him, but a little bit of me laughed as well.
I'll tell you what, though, Dave, as we get towards the end of it, I give Liberty credit. She pulled Jake because he'd had a conversation with Millie and he was flirting. Liberty had sort of walked past a couple of times. I think she was with Kaz, chatting to her and that. It's like saying, he's got to get, I've got to get used to this. He's going to be with someone. She was dead open about the way she said there's a kissing ban on and that, because he has played her. He knows she's probably not going to get with another guy. So he knows that he's got her to fall back on while he still explores it. It's classic Love Island, Dave. I'm not saying that's right or wrong, because we take it far too seriously, these relationships, and get far too invested. And then when the fucking show finishes, they're not even together. So I'd be very surprised if anybody of the current crop are even in a real relationship, not an OK magazine deal fucking relationship for a couple of months till the money falls off. So yeah. I agree with that. But Dave, how obvious was this with Chloe and Toby? There is a chemistry there.
You've talked about Liberty and Jake, so let me respond to that. I really like Liberty. Like everything about her. She seems so down to earth. She's got a cracking wit to her. And the fact you thought I was going to say something else there, didn't you?
Yeah.
So I like the fact that she's pulled him and basically said, look, you've told me this. I've had a bit of a think about it and stuff. I'm just giving you 110%. But if you're not going to give me the same the other way, then I'll explore my options as well. Fucking great stuff. Great play. Now, Jake's made out as if like, I kind of said that, but, there's nothing there. There's nothing there with anyone else. I need to be tested. Don't think you do. He didn't come out of a birthing pod, Chris. It's like crack it open and then this new being, Jake, walks into the villa straight away, and he's experiencing life for the first time. You don't fucking have to be tested. You're either in or you're not. So I like the fact that she's, laid her cards on the table there. I actually think that Jake is still playing the game, though.
Yes.
He was getting nowhere with Millie when he was speaking to her. I don't think he's quite got the confidence in himself. He can see how Brad and Lucinda are. So I don't think he's even going to chance it with Lucinda. So I just think it's a case of, okay, there is type. But actually, she knows that, he can see, he's got eyes. He can see that Millie and Liam have got this chemistry, and that's who her eyes are on. So I still think he's playing the safe game.
Yeah. I agree. He's done that the whole time, Dave. It'd be lovely if she did explore it with someone else just to see how he reacts. You might give him a kick up the arse.
I want someone to come in there and make a beeline for Liberty.
Yeah.
And make fucking Jake sweat.
Yeah. He is cocksure of himself, isn't he? That's the thing.
Yeah, really he is a bit gaslightery, isn't he? Just in the things like, when Liberty's calling him out and stuff. It's like, no, that's not how it happened. But Chris, sorry, I cut across you there. What were you saying about Chloe and Toby?
Well, you can see that there's a chemistry. They go for a chat, don't they? They're sat there at the top. Kaz and all the girls are aware that they've gone up there, but you can see the body language. Toby's opened his arms up. He's like almost touching her. She's touching him. And when she puts the glass, I don't put it in our Discord, did I? Just put incoming kiss. And the music changed and everything. And I thought, these two fuckers are going to go for it. Now, what I did laugh about, they end up kissing and then it goes off and it's the fucking tomorrow night. And it's like Toby's telling Kaz that he's going to kiss, and it's like, Toby, she saw all of it. She probably heard you fucking kissing because we've got that stupid fucking noise again. So I don't think you need to tell her what's happened, Toby. I think she can read the room, but I am looking forward to tomorrow day because I think it's going to kick right off.
Yeah. But I mean, Toby had spoken to Kaz, but again, I don't think he'd chosen his words the best. He basically said that he was with Kaz and he didn't speak to any of the other girls. And now that one of the other girls has spoke to him, he wants to explore that. It's like, I was only kind of with you because no one else would speak to me or showed an interest. It was a little bit shit, I think.
Yeah, because he said she took it too well. But to be fair to Kaz, she just laid it out. So you want to get to know Chloe. Right. Okay. Because he was just skating around the houses, wasn't he? It was good the way she did it, to be fair. I thought it was really good.
What? But Aaron was the same. Like, us blokes, we're not great, are we? So if things go off and you have a shouting match, it's like, oh, she didn't take it that well. If it's like, yeah, okay, so you want to do this, this, and this? Okay, that's fine. And then the lady walks off. It's like, I think it went quite well, that. Yeah. Meanwhile, she goes off with this impotent, seething rage to basically slate you to the first person that she comes across. And so I think it's a brilliant sort of bloke trait that we just don't quite pick up. It's easier to see when you're on the outside, but I think that is something we all generally suck at.
Yeah, I think so. He said we're all fucking soft asses, aren't we, Dave? Don't like the confrontation. Now, Dave, we have had an email, my friend. It's from Kristen Dux. She did say she was going to send us a pen to paper, but we're not in the 1970s. So sorry about that, Kristen. So she's just put up one word: dedication. Hello, Chris and Dave. Long email incoming. I don't know why I didn't get used to read this one, Dave. It's a cracker, by the way. I've got such a thrill the other day when you read out my tweet that I thought I'd better try and send you an email so we can get better acquainted. It was only a few weeks ago that I remembered that my favourite reality show was back on, Love Island UK, and I am now back under the grueling schedule that is watching the daily episodes. I've enjoyed listening to you guys for a while now. Not every series, I admit. That's disgraceful, Kristen, as well. You need to get on our back catalogue because of your hilarious, unfiltered and honest take on these shows. Chris is the funniest of the two of you, and I like the way that he brings Dave along. No, she doesn't say any of that. Now I have also caught up with the new season of The Bachelorette USA. I must say that Katie is great, but the show is consistently so overproduced and fake. I feel like the emotional toll of dealing with each guy's problems and baggage will be exhausting. No wonder each season the lead reaches breaking point and cracks under pressure, which producers love. This season of Love Island is getting better each day, but I'm so disappointed by the shallow men whose eyes wander with no hesitation. If you're going to be a dick, you can just be hot. You can't just be hot. You need to be hot and have at least some good chat. I'm looking at you, Brad and Liam. You're not wrong.
Yep.
Hugo should try and be more flirty to begin with before whipping out the lovey-dovey shite, because you know all the other guys are flirting their little hearts out with Millie and Lucinda. Now, I've just decided to take the plunge and get into Love Island USA for the first time. The new cast seems so more confident and open and willing for a relationship. It's going to be amazing. I can see hearts breaking all over the place. The cast also don't seem as focused on looking bad for Instagram followers, but we will see. Luckily for me or not, my city, Sydney, and I've been to Sydney, it's a lovely place, has been put on some strict lockdown Delta strain rules. It's the middle of the winter and it looks like we won't be getting out for a while, so it's a perfect time to bunker in and watch some trash. Thanks again for the last, Kristen. So thank you, Kristen. And I will say Sydney is amazing, Dave. What a great city. That's a great email.
Yeah, it's one on my list. Bucket list. I've not been yet, but I definitely want to get across there at some point. Don't know when it is, but yeah, definitely, probably more than anywhere else. Been to the US loads, been around Europe and stuff, but yeah, need to get to Oz and definitely Sydney. Brilliant email, and yeah, I have to constantly think it's pronounced Ducks because all I can think is the Frank Dukes.
Big thanks to our patrons, patreon.com/CD realitycast. If you want to support the show, guys, we've got various tiers on there, but I want to give the call of honor as always. We've got Ed Ross, we've got Priscilla, Susan, Hennessy Green, Haley, Tracy, Lauren, Lucky Lulu Green, and Ken Gustafson. So thank you, guys. Some great chat. And if you want to contact us on social media, guys, at CD Realitycast. If you want to email us, cdrealitycast@gmail.com. And if you do want to get involved on our Facebook page, Chris and Dave's Reality TV Cast, get over there and join, and we'll approve you, and let's get the chat talking about all this reality stuff. So a big thanks as always, Mr. Horrocks. I've enjoyed every minute of this one.
It's been great, and I'm loving, the Patreon Discord chat as well. It's great to watch along the episode, and kind of got one eye on the episode, and some of the comments, some of the GIFs are really funny and stuff. And yeah, it just adds to the experience for me.
Oh, it does, Dave. Really, really enjoying it. And yeah, we may have an episode about Love Island US, I believe, David, won't we? We're going to try and sit down.
We may do. I mean, we said we weren't going to do this daily. Let's figure that out.
Yay! Anyway, I will see you again, my friend.
Bye now.